I'm gonna lay it down for these guys. Facts, myths, everything. So from the time I got it, I feel like the learning curve for Helium is quite big. You need to like learn a lot of stuff before I feel like you actually start making like a good earning. Unless maybe someone just tells you off the bat their experiences, their challenges, what they went through, and all that type of stuff. I had the stock antenna just for like a day, and then I put a 6 dBi on my balcony, and people were finding me, but I couldn't find like other people. So the earnings really weren't that good. And I was pretty much doing like experimentations like on the balcony, and then I removed the 6 dBi, put the 8 dBi on the balcony, in which even the 8 dBi really didn't perform well on the balcony as compared to the 6 dBi. So like everybody says on the tips that you see online, you have to go high, have the right antenna, which I guess is true, but I feel like there's a lot of other stuff that don't necessarily get talked about. So the first 2 months I really didn't make much. It was very stressful. I really didn't like it. I think it was like 1 HNT the whole month. 1 HNT, less than 1 HNT. And when I'm looking at other people, they're making a bit more. So I was like, what the hell do these guys know? Like
even guys who have spent approximately the same time as you.
Yeah,
these were guys who had been around.
The guy I was looking at had it for definitely a bit longer, like since last year.
Oh, okay.
But it was still annoying me that someone else is making more money than me, and they're pretty much in the same vicinity as me. It wasn't adding up. But another thing that I looked at was that the market is pretty much down. So you're pretty much making like maybe 20, 50 cents a day. But when you multiply it, if the market was back up to where it originally was, you'd probably be making like $2, $2 a day or $3, which is really not so bad, I guess. But then I think the expectations of wanting to make all this cash, you're gonna be making about $500 in a really short time. Like,
I mean, that's what we were sold when we were getting into
yeah. But the reality is usually further from the truth. I eventually went as high as I could, got a longer cable from China. It was pretty long, and I know when you get the longer cable you have, the more data loss that you experience, because the information is having to travel like a longer distance. I remember reading online that the shorter the cable, the better off you are. So I guess if you have like a 2 meter cable,
you're doing best.
You're going to, because it's having like a short distance to travel from the antenna to your miner, to your hotspot, yeah.
And on top of that, if you're on like
the rooftop, I guess you're going to be good. I really feel like it's a factor. It's a bigger factor than I thought. That's what I'm thinking right now. I think I still need to do a bit more like tests, I guess, like more tests, like to prove the hypothesis, which is something, the theory, which is pretty much like also what I wanted to tell you. Like I wanted to tell you to remove your antenna, bring it to the balcony, disconnect that long cable, and connect a shorter one to see what the difference would be. So now I guess you won't be as high, but the difference will be that you're going to have a shorter cable, to see if that's going to make a change, because like you're using a 5 point something dBi, so I'm assuming it should be able to like to spread across. So like I have two antennas, the 6 dBi and the 8 dBi. So I run two tests where I was really high. I don't think there are many people that are really high up, like in the area that I'm at here in Kenya. Most people I think are a bit lower. There are a few people that are high, but most people are like on the lower ground. So with the 8 dBi, what was happening was I wasn't really finding that many people.
Because of the way.
Because
the frequency.
Yeah, like it doesn't spread like that high. It's like a short spread, but it goes like really far.
Distance.
So the earnings really weren't that good. But after I put the 6 dBi, that's the only time I can honestly say I felt a significant difference, because the earnings shifted from, because now it moved from making 1 HNT a month, then it went to 2 HNT a month, and then it went to 3. And right now with the 6 dBi, I'm consistently making around 4 point something, 4.5 a month. And yeah, and I feel like I still feel like it's not making the maximum rewards it could make. So now the theory I'm having, I'm like, maybe my cable is too long, because like there's nothing else like I can think of. You check out, like I've literally tested out everything else. The only thing that maybe I'm thinking about, which is why I wanted you to test like with a shorter cable on yours, because like I can't, like you're pretty much higher than me, like I'm quite low. I've tried it on with a shorter cable on this height. For me, it didn't really,
Work.
it doesn't work. It didn't do that much for me.
Because
So
it's just finding out if that is uniform or it's actually
yeah,
there's actually a
so
difference.
like if you do that and boom, now you're starting to make
Some
2
reasonable
HNT,
cash, yeah.
3, then now I'll be like, okay, cool. I guess there's some proof in the pudding. But that's the only thing that I haven't tested so far.
There's someone actually in the comments, probably put the comment up on the screen.
Yeah.
They were like, because in the last video when I told them about my earnings, which you should check out, I'll probably put the thumbnail somewhere or it's linked in the description. But basically, I shared what my earnings have been over the last 30 days since setting up my 5.8 dBi. I used the stock antenna for like a month?
A month, yeah.
Yeah, and then I changed it. So someone in the comments after I made that video, I was like, oh, I was expecting my disappointment because me, I expected like at least some genuine improvement. It was about the same, you know what I mean? I was reaching the same people. Like
After
that I
you've
was with
invested in the cable,
Exactly.
after you've invested in the antenna.
Imagine. And then
I know what it feels
in
like.
the comments,
Yeah.
in the comments, someone was like, you should avoid buying cables of Alibaba. Apparently, the quality affects as well. So the quality of the cable. So I was like, the question that I have in my mind is, yours has been growing with that cable.
Yeah.
Right. So now I have that reservation.
Yeah.
Even though that information is with me now, it's like there's proof that the cable, even though it might be like I don't know, but
I
so
think
far
it's
what I'm
it's
seeing-
probably a factor.
yeah.
I think that's pretty much my experience in regards to like that aspect, the cable, the antenna, the
And then
duration,
earnings that
and
have
then the
happened
earnings.
between, yeah. How long have you had yours by now?
6, 7 months, 6 months, 7, somewhere there.